Hey everyone, thanks for checking out another episode of Wonderful Garbage. This episode is going to be a Bravo TV recap episode. In this episode, I will be recapping the most recent Real Housewives of Atlanta, episode 3, and the finale of Beverly Hills. All right, let's start with Atlanta. Let's talk about Brit's family hangout. I think we can all agree that she doesn't have a private chef all the time. I think we can also agree that she doesn't, they're not always eating lobster like this. I loved her nephew being like, is this too fancy? This is not us. When I come over to Aunt's house, this is not what we're serving. It was so funny. We learned a little bit more about her. She had said this before. She was a video vixen in high school. She's dated all kinds of guys, all over the top. I did have to look up what videos that she was in. I saw that she was in Soulja Boy's Kiss Me Through the Phone. That song came out when I was in high school, so I'm obsessed that she was in that music video. She also dated Rick Ross. Cool. I like Rick Ross, go her. But she wanted to be married to someone that was more husband material. Again, is her husband material? TBD. I hate talking about that. But also just the energy that you're seeing on camera. Is it real? I don't know what's happening. We do learn that he wants to have a kid, but she wants to do a marriage ceremony since they got married at the courthouse, and she wants to do that before they have a kid. But I feel like in last week's episode, he wasn't about having kids, so I don't know. Are we getting mixed messages? Is it flip-flopping? Am I not remembering correctly? But it was cool to see her, sister-in-law came over with their kids, and they had a little family hang. We learned that her dad passed away in 2015, and he had a really big life insurance policy, but her mom didn't get it because her dad was in between jobs when he passed away, which is so freaking sad and messed up. So that's why she started her insurance agency with her sisters, because she always wanted to make sure the family was secure. But then even hearing about that, she wanted to sell it and her sisters were fighting. She had to fire one of her sisters because she wasn't working good. And then the other sister left because she wanted to sell it. I don't know, family drama. Getting in business with your family is a mess. Also, what was Brit's part in it, right? What's their side of the story against Brit? I don't know. Going in business with your family, yeah, is crazy. It just sucks that she lost her relationship with her two sisters because of it, Oh, okay, so when we see Porsha and Kelly going out and meeting up, Porsha gets a Hennessy margarita, which if that is Hennessy and tequila, put me to bed. Immediately, I would need to go take a nap. I need to be horizontal. I need to not be around anybody. Tequila makes me mouthy as it is. If I'm also having Hennessy on top of that, I will be cussing somebody out by the end of the night. Just kidding. I will definitely be crying though. But we get to see Porsha and Kelly hang out because they got off on the wrong foot when Kelly was like, why did you steal somebody else's man? A question the collective does have. Tell us more about this timeline, Porsha. Actually, I don't even care anymore, but it is just wild that Porsha again got engaged to this man 18 days after it was announced that he was leaving his wife. Wild. But time is a construct, right? Maybe 18 days in our world is different in Atlanta. Maybe they go by a totally different time schedule in Atlanta than we do in the outside world. But Porsha telling Kelly that she has different personalities. Girl, hope so do you. Let's watch everything that you went through on this show prior. Plus your Family Matters show, that was a mess. I don't know if anyone watched that. Porsha's Family Matters, it was her spinoff when her and Simon were getting married. Oh, I watched a couple episodes and then it was like, this is rough. But it's out there if you ever want to see it. Also, I feel like when it comes to the shade on this show specifically, it's like a shade contest or like a shade range. I'm going to throw a bunch of shade at you and see what you can handle. And then based on what you can handle, I'm going to see if we can be friends or not. Because maybe to be friends with me, you got to be able to put up with my shade. But I also want you to be good at giving shade too. I don't want to be friends with someone who like can't give shade for shit, you know? So I feel like a lot of the times on this show, it's this shade range game or like a shade off. And then if it goes too far, then that's when we have issues. I feel like Porsha and Kelly are finding out their shade range with each other and can have a friendship until it goes south. Like until the other person starts going off, then they'll be okay. But I did see recently, there's this whole thing that goes down on the show between Kenya and Brit. Kelly and Brit also aren't really friends anymore. And Porsha posted a picture with Brit recently. And then Kenya did an Instagram story, #Traitor. Some people think that means she's going to be on season 4 of Traitors, and some people think she's calling Porsha a traitor for hanging out with Brit when they just had this big explosive thing that happens on the show that we're going to see. I think this next episode sets up that drama of what Kenya does to Brit. So there's already drama in the current day that's going on. Also with Kenya being let go from the show, I don't think she's going to be at the reunion. I wonder if they're going to do some sort of one-on-one with her and Andy. Because she, like, I don't know. What do y'all think? Do you think we're going to see Kenya at a reunion? Are we going to see her film a video like Phaedra did for the Married to Medicine reunion? Phaedra's like, I'm not going to that shit, but I'm going to do a video telling all of you off and saying exactly what I think about each one of you. I feel like we might get that from Kenya. But it was cute seeing Porsha and Kelly. I didn't mind it. I love a new little Kiki. I did love Kelly saying, she goes, look, I have different personalities. Porsha has different men. So what difference does it make? So that is good shade. There we go. But Kelly and Porsha are somehow okay now. I like that they didn't focus on the BS. They're letting themselves like get to know each other. But again, I'm sure something's going to happen this season that's going to make them go at it. Okay, I was hoping we'd wait a couple more episodes before we see a Drew music scene. But here we are. I'm just kidding. I actually like what I've been hearing on Instagram so far. I haven't checked any of it out on streaming platforms. But what she's been posting on Instagram, like, it sounds good. It is giving, like, 90s, early 2000s R&B. And I love that. Take me back. Cynthia, Kenya, and Angela go see her in her studio. So we see her doing a little bit of singing, and then they're sitting down and talking. They are kind of talking about, like, the other night. And Angela's talking about, oh yeah, we learned Angela, she's so funny. I like her. She was shady as hell on Watch What Happens Live this week, but I like her a lot. Like, she's not afraid to throw shade at anyone, and that is what's needed on this show too. She talks about that she reconnected with Charles when they moved into the same complex, or she moved in the same complex as him. They were neighbors. She made friends with the concierge to be like, what's Charles doing today? Did he go get a massage? Did he do this? Did he do that? Like, keeping tabs on him to see what he was doing. I thought that was so funny. Okay, this shit was laughable. Drew telling the women that her and Dennis have a strict working relationship only. Girl, last episode you were just saying he's your angel on earth. In your phone, he's Dennis bro. She was also, and then they were just celebrating her birthday together. Like, stop flip-flopping. Also, it was really funny that, oh yeah, she said that they never talk on the phone. The first episode, we got you guys calling and talking. There's no way. You don't put somebody in your phone as Dennis bro and you don't talk on the phone with him. Lies, girl, lies. Okay, it was also really laughable that Drew kept saying that she was trying to reach out to Porsha to talk to her about working with Dennis, but she could never reach her. And then we see these text messages and like dates back and forth of her trying to meet up with Porsha, but the meetups fell through. They couldn't hang out. Pick up the phone and call her. Hey, I need 5 minutes of your time to run something by you real quick. I don't want to do this behind your back, but I want to let you know I've been given this opportunity to work with your baby daddy, and I want to make sure that you're cool with it. I don't want to do any of this behind your back. That's all it could have been. I did that in like under a minute. Literally, that's all it could have been, just to make sure you were good. I mean, we know if Drew really wanted to talk to Porsha about it, she would have. Also, I feel she could have done a little ding dong, come to Porsha's house and say, hey, I want to talk to you about something real quick. Let me bring you a coffee and let's have a chat if we want to get this on camera too. Drew would have figured out a way to do it. But she knew Porsha would either have questions, one of them being, my baby daddy is a music producer? What are you talking about? Dennis doesn't do music. But I also feel, right, like Drew didn't want to have the instance of Porsha not giving her her blessing. So Drew just went with it. Also, I think Dennis did lie about checking in with Porsha about it on his own and getting that blessing too. So it is a little messy. Just don't do things behind people's backs. It's shady. Be shady in a different way, but not like with someone's baby daddy. I don't know. Kenya is like, why isn't Dennis speaking up for you? Like, especially if you're being talked about like you're a whore. Cynthia goes, oh, a whore? Oh no, that's horrible. A hoe we could ride with. It's almost a compliment, but not a whore. And Drew's like, what? Like, I am? No, like, it's not like that. So, again, doing shit behind people's backs is going to cause speculation 100%. We saw it on Beverly Hills with PK and Kyle and this dumb text messaging back and forth. So, just PSA, don't do shit behind other people's backs unless, like, you really can go toe-to-toe with them. Okay, so we see Shamia talking about her health struggles and her daughter's health struggles with her sisters. Like, Shamia has just been through so much. It's so crazy. You know, just saying it was really, really hard when their youngest was in the NICU, and then learning that their oldest daughter has some health issues as well, has just been really difficult. In this episode, she is going to get her tonsils out, the oldest daughter, and she's so excited to go to the doctors because she's so used to going to doctor's appointments like for her sister, or she's so used to, like, you know, her parents being in the hospital with the youngest sister. So now the oldest sister doesn't have fear of going to the doctors in the hospital, which I think is kind of a blessing in disguise, that she knows it's going to be okay, or she's used to it, even though it is a horrible situation, to like be comfortable being in the hospital or not having that fear. But I think it is one less thing for Shamia to have to like worry about her daughter going through the surgery, or like that her daughter's freaking out about having the surgery, because she knows that her youngest sister's gone through surgeries and things like that too. But I really loved Shamia's sisters saying like, everything that you have gone through with your youngest daughter, Shiloh, like it's only showing that she has a purpose here. Like, she is here for a reason. Like, you guys have gone through so much with bringing her into the world. And then once she's here, you know, her surgeries and her health issues that she has, that she is here for a reason, and to remember that. And I thought that was so beautiful. And they're like, she doesn't even know what's going on with her. Like, she has no idea that she has health complications, you know. She's just so happy and so playful. And so just to find the joy in that. I think Shami is also a little nervous about expanding her family when they're still going through like health issues with the youngest one. Like, you know, is now the right time to work on expanding our family even more when they have so much going on? But I really do love the openness that we're seeing from Shamia there. Okay, I am obsessed with Charles Oakley getting banned from Madison Square Garden by the owner. That's how you know you're like a badass athlete, is when like somebody else hates like someone, a big arena owner hates you. Like, that's when you know like you're one of the best. I love it so much. He said he got kicked out during a game because the owner just doesn't like him. Angela's saying that this happened when they first started dating, and it was really traumatic for them to the point where they had to like live separately to get through it, which is kind of like the wildest reason I've heard, to live separate from somebody. But like, okay, like it's probably just really embarrassing, right? And so now they're wanting to have a vow renewal to renew their commitment to each other. And I know everyone at the same time just screamed, no, when they saw this on TV. Don't do it. Vow renewals are curses for Real Housewives people. There have been a couple that have done them that are still together. We love that for them. But like Ramona and Mario, Real Housewives of New York, we know how that ended. It ended. There have been 3 vow renewals on the Real Housewives of Orange County that have not gone good. Shannon, Vicky, and Bronwyn, if you remember her, they're all divorced now. Tamara and Eddie did one, and they're still together by the grace of God. And then on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Kim and Corey did one, and we know that's gone to shit. So just don't do vow renewals, please, please, please. We don't want to see you get divorced. We actually need some people who are still married on these shows. Oh, it was interesting seeing Drew with her divorce attorney. So we're learning that Ralph isn't really giving over his financial records. Like, they're having a hard time getting a lot of documents from him that they need. So the divorce filing is currently sealed, but the judge has reviewed the filing and now wants to unseal it, which is crazy. Because like, what does that, like, that's not going to be good for Ralph, I would feel like. Do they do that to like speed up the process? Like, all right, I'm going to put everything out there, and then maybe you'll stop like pussyfooting around. I don't know why I said that phrase. But like, are you going to stop stalling? That's probably a better word than pussyfooting around. Like, is he going to stop stalling once everything's out there and then it gets it moved forward quicker? I don't know. But her attorney says if that happens, everything's going to be out. The fact that he was a serial cheater, that he's been taking money out of her account, sexting with other women, tracking Drew, which is some wild shit. I love how the attorney was like, so all of this is going to be private until the files are unsealed. I was like, or until this show airs, because you just laid all of it out on the table on camera. But what a mess. And then Ralph even started a podcast now. I think it's a play on him being in the basement. And I think he's threatening he's going to come out with a bunch of shit against Drew. It's like, this is not cute. this is not okay. This is not good. Like, I get everyone wants to have their voice. Do an Instagram live here and there. We don't need a full-on podcast from this man. No, thank you. Also, Drew has the smallest Louis Vuitton bag with her. Those bags drive me absolutely insane. Because why? Because why? Stop. What a waste of money. Don't you need to be saving money? Isn't he trying to take all your money? Girl, no. What's one less song you have to put out if you didn't buy that tiny ass bag? Okay, so Porsha is talking with her mom about her divorce. She says it's just hard because, I mean, he's detained by ICE and he isn't there to like, she goes, you know, like my other divorce, like, yeah, you know, we like went through our attorneys with everything else, but we were able to like talk on the side, or at least like you have that option there to like be able to speak with that person if something's going on, if it's not too tumultuous. But him being detained by ICE is just a totally different thing, which is insane. The fact that like he literally is dealing with immigration shit and is like gone, like she can't see him whatsoever. Yes, I feel bad for Porsha because divorces suck, but also like she rushed into that so quickly with this man and got love bombed is what it sounded like. Blinders on 150. Like, I'm not paying attention to anything else that's going on, and it's just sad. I don't know. Also, I'm going back and I'm watching old Atlanta. I think I'm in season 9, and Portia's trying to have a baby by her ex-boyfriend Todd, which is a mess. And just seeing where Porsha is now versus then, like how bad she wanted to have a baby and like have a family and all these things, and now seeing her like in this situation, it's pretty crazy how things change on these shows. Okay, at the end of the episode, we get Kelly's mommy and me event at Balmain. She is doing this event to raise awareness for osteogenesis imperfecta, which is a brittle bone disease, and 3 out of her 4 daughters have it. It's a genetic disease. It is so freaking sad. So she tells a story that she took her oldest, when she had found out, like the oldest of the 3, to the hospital. CPS wouldn't let her leave. Like 2 police officers came to the room. They thought she was abusing her daughter and wouldn't let her go. She said they were stuck over there for like a month. And then a doctor, like they got a specialist, and I think it's like a blue ring around your eye that is an indicator of this osteogenesis imperfecta. And then the doctor was like, okay, yes, like this is what she has. And then they were able to be let go. But how freaking horrible that CPS thought that she was abusing her daughter. Like, couldn't they have done more medical testing to verify? They just automatically were like, nope, something shady's going on here. It's crazy. But it's a really cute event. It's very florally. Kenya and her daughter, Porsha and her daughter, Angela and her daughter, Cynthia and her Bob. There's really cute, like, mommy and me matching dresses. Kenya and Porsha and Angela, they're all matching with their daughters. It's really cute. So is Kelly with her daughter. We do see Drew. She comes in later, and Shamia as well. Oh, also in season 9, I'm watching where Kenya's dating that guy, Matt, and she doesn't want to break up with him, but he keeps like smashing windows in her house and is getting like aggressive. Yeah, that was a wild time. I'm so happy Kenya's not in that space anymore, and her daughter's so cute. Just a wild season of Atlanta that was. But they're there to raise money. I believe like a proceeds from what the ladies buy is gonna go to the foundation that she has. And I love when housewives highlight causes like this or rare diseases that aren't really known and talked about. I think that's wonderful. Of course, there's a little shade at this event. Porsha's asking Shamia if she's going to go talk to Angela. She goes, oh, the one from the 90s? And then in her confessional, she's sucking in her nose. And then she's asking if anyone has glue to get her nose back down. I was like, damn. She also says, I didn't know she was going to be Latoya Jackson today. I was like, oh no. It's, you know, to each their own. We've seen a wide variety of noses on this show. Angela does try to give it back to her a little bit by calling her Shamina and asking if she can get her nose out of Porsha's ass. She also calls her Flavor Flav because of her hairstyle. Shamia is continuing to go after the nose, but Kenya's like, can you stop? Because like Angela's daughter's here. Just like try not to do the fighting in front of the kids, which yes, Kenya, you're 100% right. Do not fight in front of the kids. I wish what they would have done was done this event at Balmain and then had a separate event where the ladies go out after and then do all their shady shit so it didn't happen in front of the kids. But also I wish Kenya would have taken her advice when like all the stuff goes down with her and Brit. Yeah, but a little shady shade between Shamia and Angela. Angela was on Watch What Happens Live and she said she said the Flavor Flav comment because he's a family friend of theirs and they had just hung out a couple months prior and she was feeling nostalgic about hanging out with him. And when she saw Porsha or when she saw Shamia, it reminded her of him. Oh, gosh, it was funny. I love a good shady moment. We also love a good misunderstanding. For some reason, Angela thinks when they were at Shamia's birthday party, she thinks that Shamia asked Drew if her and Dennis were sleeping together, when Shamia really asked if Drew and Dennis were dating. So this is where this whole beef is going to stem from, is a complete misunderstanding, which we absolutely love. All right, let's get into the mess that is the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. All right, season finale of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 14. Y'all, this season has flown by. It's crazy. I absolutely loved the addition of Bose and Jennifer Tilly, seeing her more on the show. Bose had some mean girl energy though on Watch What Happens Live. I'm sure you've seen some clips. Everyone has a right to their opinion of things. I just don't know what Garcelle did to Bose between like the show, the reunion, Watch What Happens Live, to warrant that kind of energy. I get it from Erica. That's like Erica's thing. And I liked Erica this season. I do think she also needs to bring more of the show too, though. She made a comment on Watch What Happens Live saying that like she didn't call Garcelle boring at the reunion. She said she wasn't as interesting, wish she would have brought more to the show, more than buying a beach house in Bakersfield, which is ridiculous because all Erica did this season was remodel a rental that she doesn't own. So like what? I don't get it. Wouldn't it suck if the renters were like, you have to take everything down that you just paid for before you leave? You know, like some renters, they won't let you do certain things. You can do like peel off wallpaper, or if you paint something, you need to paint it back before you leave. Like, it would be so freaking funny if the renters were like, everything that you just paid this man to do here, your whole entire season, you need to now take it down. Thank you so much. I loved the falling of Sutton's quick sisterhood moment because we all know that's bullshit. Absolutely loved Dorit smoking, episode 1. Just chain smoking the cigarette. I guess chain smoking means more than one cigarette, but smoking very intensely as she's driving down Los Angeles Boulevard. I don't know. I hate that Garcelle's leaving the show. You know, Could she have more of a storyline? Yes. But I think her role is also calling out people on their bullshit. Should she do it to Sutton more? Yes. She's good at calling others out and trying to move the storyline. And I think without that, it's going to be a really different show. I hated that Kyle didn't talk about Morgan when she was pushed down her throats the entire season. We see a clip in the reunion of Kyle saying, well, she didn't sign up for this show. And then Garcelle, which is why we need her, claps back and is like, she didn't sign up for the show this season. Last year, we couldn't stop hearing about her. This season, crickets. What's up with that? And Andy was even like, yeah, you can have your cake and eat it too. You do a whole music video about you guys being lovers, and then we can't talk about it? Like, that's part of your life. That's part of your work as an actress, what you're doing. We can't talk about it on this show? I just would hate it if it starts to be people that only rally around Kyle, because then that's when you're gonna lose me. I am interested to see how Sutton is going to navigate without Garcelle. Is she going to be really up Kyle's ass now for a friendship, But this episode is ending in St. Lucia, which I don't know how I feel about ending on a cast trip. Usually the cast trip is towards the end of the show, and then they come back and do some little final party, some sort of final get-together. For what happened throughout the show and kind of the direction it's going in, okay. What else could they have filmed, I guess? But maybe that just shows the show needs a refresh because we're ending on a trip. Also, maybe it's not that deep. We see Sutton and Garcelle talking, and Garcelle's like, do you realize that Kyle doesn't stand up for you? And Garcelle even points it out later to Kyle. And Kyle's like, fuck that. You guys don't stand up for her either, so why should I? I'm like, this just shows what a crappy friend Kyle is, because she gets defensive. She doesn't even recognize that Garcelle, more often than not, does stand up for Sutton to the point where they call her Sutton's mouthpiece. But Kyle just has tunnel vision, and she's like, well, you didn't do it last night, so why do I need to do it? Kyle doesn't know how to be there for her friends. And Sutton's like, okay, yes, I see it. I do see it now. I understand what you're saying. I thought we had a really nice time in Georgia. And yeah, I'm recognizing that Kyle isn't the type of friend that I thought she was. I also found interesting, someone posted online, remember at the beginning of the season, Sutton was like, I'm not going to bow down to the altar of Kyle Richards. Then they go to Georgia. They have this really emotional weekend. Sutton's mom is all about Kyle. And then when they come back, Sutton's all about Kyle. For the most part. She does call out Mo cheating on Kyle. Which Kyle absolutely hated. But for the most part, yeah, Sutton is now focused on Kyle, and people were like, is that because Sutton's mom was obsessed with Kyle and Sutton is so desperate for her mom's validation and love that she's gonna go suck up to the person that her mom really likes? I thought that was interesting. Sutton thinks the women want to break her down and have been wanting to break her down for years. So we get this montage of Erica, Lisa Rinna, Kyle, and Dorit are all fighting with her. And then I was like, but where's the montage of Sutton doing this shit to everybody else? And then we get one. And y'all, I forgot about this scene of Sutton and Kyle fighting. I think it was in Aspen. And she's telling Kyle, you've already lost 2 sisters. You want to lose a third? Saying she's Kyle's third sister. And I was like, damn, that's rough. Because the dynamic between Kyle and her sisters is nothing that anybody wants to touch. Nobody wants that shit. It is rough. They all do it to each other. Sutton, she can dish it, but she can't take it. I also feel like in the past, other than Garcelle, Sutton hasn't really had anyone in her corner consistently, like the Fox Force 5 did, where they backed each other up regardless, no matter what. Sutton didn't have that shit, and I felt like she was always had trouble making friendships because she was always fighting with them and they were always coming after her. Now that there really isn't as much Fox Force 5 on the show, and with Garcelle leaving, maybe even actually this season 2 though, Sutton maybe finally felt like she could get in with Kyle more, and so was trying to build more of a friendship with her. Okay, they are going out to a party at the resort, and all the ladies are dressed up, super cute dresses and everything, and Kathy Hilton is just wearing shorts and a t-shirt, and that is a rich bitch. She says, I don't need to dress up for anybody. We're going to dinner on the beach. I'm good. I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt, and I love that for her. And there's a really nice market set up. There's vendors so they can do some local shopping, and I love that. There's nothing I love more than a local market and buying a bunch of trinkets and jewelry that I absolutely don't need. And Sutton is totally in her feelings. She doesn't want to be there. She shows up late. She doesn't want any part of what's going on. She's thinking that Erica and Dorit had a calculated, coordinated attack against her on the boat. So she's all in her feelings. She thinks everyone is coming out to get her. So she is just in the worst mood possible. Kyle goes over to check on her while they're all shopping, and she's trying to explain to Sutton why she didn't say anything on the boat, why she didn't stand up for her, blah, blah, blah. And Sutton keeps asking Kyle, like, do you think that's true? Do you think that's true? Do you? And I'm like, oh no, we're getting another name him. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. And you see the flashbacks of her. She has to fucking repeat herself, which is like it's kind of like an intimidation, or kind of like you're going to hear what I'm saying. I'm going to keep repeating this to you so you get it in your brain. Like I'm almost better than you type thing, or some sort of like hierarchy bullshit thing. And I would just walk away after that. I don't want to speak to a parrot. I'm good. Kyle's like, because Sutton's like, yeah, do you think it's true that they're like ganging up on me? You think it's true that everyone's just trying to shit on me? And Kyle's like, I think everyone does it to each other. Like everyone has their moments of getting shit on. In a confessional, Sutton's like, if Kyle is too self-absorbed to see that she's been treated differently than everyone else, that I get treated differently than Kyle's over here in her own little world, she goes, then we're going to have a problem. I said, well, yes, welcome to the show. Kyle is self-absorbed. We've known that. We're glad you're here now. But this is just riling, like Sutton is riling herself up more, that she doesn't want people coming up to her. Kathy even tries to come up to her and she's like, leave me alone, leave me alone. I just want to be like these dolls over here, like these Barbie dolls. And it cuts to Dorit. I just want to be okay. And Kathy's like, okay, I'll leave you alone. She was like, can you just pretend like I don't have an IQ of 140? I was like, ugh. Sutton, I was feeling bad for you for like a tiny bit, but now you're just pretentious. Like, who the fuck says that? It's so weird. I did agree with Bose how she said, you know, at first Sutton didn't want to come, and then she comes to dinner, but it's under her terms. We're just supposed to sit and act like nothing's going on, like nothing happened. We can't bring anything up to her. We can't share our feelings, and it's just going to be awkward. I feel like when Sutton isn't in control, then she starts to spiral, and then she makes it worse for herself in her head than it actually is. She doesn't want to deal with it head on. She's just going to like go off and make it worse, and then here we are. So they sit down for dinner and Kathy is so hot. She's asking for ice to put under her armpits. She's like having a hot flash. And again, just, it's Kathy's world and they are just living in it. It's so freaking funny. Also, they're having dinner in this market area where all these other people are, and I'm so jealous. I would love to go on vacation one time and get to see the Real Housewives at dinner filming a scene in the wild. Putting it on my bucket list. It's so awkward. No one's really talking. Kyle asked Jennifer Tilly if she can do impressions, and she's like, yeah, not really. And then Dorit and Erica think it's good to do impressions of Sutton. Someone else does an impression of her too, and Sutton hates it. She is so pissed. Oh, Kyle does an impression of Jennifer Tilly, and then Erica and Dorit do one of Sutton, and Sutton fucking hates it. I'm like, ooh. I feel like Erica can do it well because she's also from Georgia and like the same area. So like whatever, just have some fun. But they're celebrating Erica and Dorit's birthdays. They get a cake for them that has their faces on it. The staff singing happy birthday, but they're singing hope you get some tonight, and like hope you get some presents, hope you get some tonight. And Sutton is glaring at them. Oh, those eyes are giving so much hatred and heat towards Dorit and Erica. It is so awkward. She's so miserable. She's ruining it. It's so bad. Okay, the next day we see Garcelle, Kyle, and Jennifer talking on the beach. You know this scene was 100% set up by production because there's no way that Kyle willingly went and hung out with Garcelle. It's so funny that Kyle keeps saying that the three of them are the closest to Sutton. And she's like, so think about my perspective too, of me not sticking up for Sutton. And it's like, girl, these two are like actual friends to Sutton. You're like situational friends to Sutton. She's annoyed that she keeps getting blamed for everything, which is such an over-exaggeration. Also, Kyle makes up things in her head and makes them bigger than they actually are. Like, Kyle, you're not blamed for everything, but here she goes, playing the perpetual victim. She doesn't understand why Sutton wants her to stand up for her so much. And Garcelle's like, yeah, I would also like to know, like, you need to go ask Sutton that. I don't understand why your support and you standing up for her is so much different than when I do it or when Jennifer does it. Like, she holds you on this pedestal and we don't know why. Also, I'm obsessed with Jennifer Tilly talking about her divorce because Garcelle's like, look, I just want to ask, like, how are you? How are things going? Do you feel like you need to move further in your separation? Like, get information on financials, get information on what your options are. And she was like, well, no, I don't know. And Jennifer goes, look, I thought, you know, when she was divorcing her husband, he said, okay, I'm going to give you this amount of money from the bank that we have. And then when she started talking to friends, they were like, yeah, like, you need to get a divorce lawyer. Because, like, even if he's saying things are going to be nice, at the end of the day, it's not. And just get a lawyer to make sure you're good. She goes, and then I ended up getting a piece of The Simpsons. So, you know. Bose was really nice to Sutton in this episode, for the most part. She does like a one-on-one with Sutton. They go and make chocolates and they're talking about the girls and like how she's feeling. Sutton says, oh, you know, I just have to remember where I am in life and how it must be hard for the other ladies to look at me and see that. And Bose goes, you sound like you're making yourself out to be better than everybody else. And she's like, well, I just, you know, I need to take better care of me and of that situation and just really recognize that. I'm like, Sutton is so fucking delusional. She thinks that these women are jealous of her. No, they think you're a biatch. They think you're hard to be around. They think you're difficult. They're not jealous of your money. No. I mean, maybe, but no. So then the episode ends with carnival night. Everyone looks so freaking good. Everyone's wearing what they're comfortable in, because you usually, like, carnival, you're dressing up, the feathers, minimal clothing, you're like not really wearing too much. But Kathy's wearing a caftan, some of the ladies are wearing barely anything, but everyone looks really good. I love it. The feathers, the headpieces, the jewels, I love it all. Jennifer Tilly's like, good thing I played a stripper in a movie because I know how to move. When she was getting ready, she was asking, because they had headdresses and the feathers made there locally. Bose was able to get that done for the ladies, which was amazing. And so Jennifer was asking them, like, how are you supposed to dance, like, in the carnival parade and everything, or carnival night? And they're like, you have to gyrate. So she's like, oh yeah, I played a stripper in a movie. I know how to gyrate. I got these moves. Also in the after show, Dorit said she loved her feathers and headdress so much, she asked if she could buy it. Girl, with what money? Also, they're wearing the feathers to dinner, and it's so fucking funny watching them in their heels walking through the sand. Oh, okay. Everyone's wearing heels except Sutton, because Sutton had asked Bose, like, what kind of footwear is typically worn, and she was like, shoes. Like, you know, it's like hard to be in heels. Everyone typically wears shoes. So Sutton wore her orthopedic sneakers, and everybody else, including Bose, wore their heels. But Sutton said, like, once they got around to everybody else, she did see, like, a lot more people were in shoes, but it's so funny. Sutton and her orthopedic footwear. But at dinner, Erica wants to wrap up the drama. She just wants to know who said that her and Dorit had coordinated their stuff with Sutton at the boat. Tilly was like, look, I did. And I'm just saying how it appeared. Like, you had something to say. Dorit had the exact same thing. And we learned that Erica went to talk to Sutton about it earlier. And she wanted to know if she knew that Garcelle and Jennifer Tilly had said it. And Sutton said, I can't speak as to, like, what was being said. And then she said, no, she didn't know that Jennifer and Garcelle had said that. Which is bullshit, because they said it to her. So I wonder if that comes up at the reunion and Sutton doesn't stand up for Garcelle. And that's what sets Garcelle off. Because time after time, Garcelle has been on Sutton's side. And Sutton continues to not show up in that same way for Garcelle. And it's hard because I did like Sutton in the beginning of the show. I liked her vulnerability, sharing about her family's past and how that's affected her as an adult, her relationship with her mom and how they're continuing to work on that. But, you know, she wasn't really a good friend to Garcelle, and it really sucks. I feel like, yeah, if she had the opportunity to grow more in a friendship with Kyle than Garcelle, then she's going to choose Kyle all day. Also, this whole coordinated attack thing is so blown out of proportion and dumb. They both have issues with Sutton. Yeah, they've talked about it. Yeah, they probably have some of the same issues. Yeah, the shit's probably going to sound the same. And probably Dorit feels like she can't keep going in on Sutton. So when Erica brought it up, then yeah, Dorit's going to bring it up too. And if they talked about it before going on the boat, then fuck it. Whatever. Bring some drama to the show. I think the whole coordinated attack thing is just dumb. Oh, okay. We didn't need this also. The whole picking the cameras back up 1 month later to talk about Tom's court case with Erica and Kyle. Okay, he was found guilty of embezzlement, 4 counts of fraud and all kinds of stuff. Erica saying she had no idea what was going on. Yeah, girl, you weren't questioning it when the money was flowing in and you were living the lifestyle that you wanted. And I just feel like she continues to play the victim. She says that she doesn't have to apologize for her feelings. I feel like the wording is weird. Yes, you can have feelings about your whole life blowing up, but knowing that it was on the backs of other people and other people didn't get their money, it was stolen from them. Like, let's continue to keep that at the forefront, because this whole scene was bullshit. I don't know if they thought it was going to help paint Erica in a different light. It wasn't necessary. I would have rather watched Sutton dance in her carnival outfit than see this scene ever again. All right, let's talk a little bit about the after show. Kyle speaking about like being friends with Sutton, saying that, you know, Garcelle will just defend her no matter what. But then Kyle somehow spins it about her, about Sutton being unsupportive with things that are going on in her life. And it's like, oh my goodness, Kyle, this is like not needed. It's not needed. I thought it was really interesting, Jennifer Tilly saying that there are two different Kyles. Like, there's one Kyle that's going to support you, help you out, be there for you. And then another one's going to throw you under the bus and isn't supportive. And we see flashbacks of Kyle questioning Sutton's drinking, calling her a bitch multiple times, getting in her face about stuff. And I think that stems from how Kyle fights with her sisters. How she grew up fighting with her sisters, that sister dynamic that spills over into her friendships. I feel like when Kyle isn't able to have like that one-on-one closeness with a friend, when there's other people involved, she spirals and doesn't know what to do and gets uber defensive and fights nasty. Garcelle says that there's a pattern with Kyle and how she treats Sutton. But Sutton just still is dying for that friendship. Like, it's something that's unattainable. Has been unattainable for so long with Sutton that, again, when Sutton came into the group, it was the whole Fox Force 5 dumb friendship group. Now that really hasn't been a thing for a couple of years, Sutton is getting the opportunity to be friends with Kyle again, which I feel like when Sutton came into the show, Kyle was like the top dog of the show, right? Perfect life, perfect marriage, things were going so good, agency was blowing up, she was hosting the best parties, all that fun stuff. So I feel like when Sutton came in, she wanted to be at that like elite group. And now she's trying to, but she's realizing she's not getting that reciprocated friendship. Oh, okay, one more thing in the after show. Dorit saying that Sutton buys her friendships was wild. She said, look, in the beginning, Garcelle and Sutton didn't really get along. Like, Sutton came into the group and Garcelle started questioning her about where she got her money from. Is it family money? Did you inherit it? Did you make it? All these things. Good questions. We appreciate them. She thinks, though, that there was this charity for Haiti that Sutton bought a $25,000 table for and went to that with Garcelle. And then after that, they became friends. I'm like, okay. Or maybe they bonded after going to that event. Like, I don't think it was money driven. For all of the friendships that we have seen on our various housewife shows, I do think Garcelle's and Sutton's was a true friendship. I think Garcelle understood that there were issues, like Sutton's had issues in the past. She's had a lot of things to work through. And I think Garcelle gave her leeway and gave her grace with that. But I think once Garcelle started seeing Sutton doesn't show up the same way that she shows up for her, and then Sutton trying to do that with other women in the group, trying to show up for them, but can't do it for Garcelle, then Garcelle's like, okay, what have I been doing this whole time? I've been waiting for you to show me that same respect. Show me that same value. You can do it with other people, but you can't do it with me. So I don't think it's money driven. I think it helped them forge a friendship, but I don't think it was money driven. No, I don't know. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think in the comments. All right, y'all. That is my recap, my thoughts on the latest Real Housewives of Atlanta and our finale of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Thank you so much for checking out this episode. Please make sure you are following, you're subscribing so you get alerted when a new episode's out. And follow on social media too. Would totally appreciate it. Thanks, y'all. Until next time.